we're going to do today. We'll get back, of course, to the main chapter, etc. And I do have the test ready to show you. We can get to that. Here's what we're going to do first. We're going to learn what a document is. What's a document? Forget what you're doing for now. Grab a clean sheet of paper if you wish to take notes, although a lot of this is just mostly paying attention. You don't even need to worry about your handout or the paper that was passed out at the beginning of the period. Keep that one close by. We'll get to that. Kaylee, if you'd like to move up, you may. Everybody finish with this. Everybody good? Good? Okay. We'll get to this also, probably, of course, not till after break. Okay, so what is a document? What is a document? Nobody knows what a document is. What's a document? Go ahead.
Paper with important stuff written on it.
Okay. It could be written. It could be written, yes. Something important written on it, yes. Nice. A document could also be a picture. It could be a quote. Okay. It could be a painting. Washington crossing the Delaware. Okay. Something that leads us to an understanding. A document might have information that we don't agree with. A document could have information in it that we don't think is true. Because remember, documents are written by people. Have you ever met someone you agree with everything? You are all sophomores in high school. Does that mean you all eat the same foods, have the same color, preference? Like, I don't know, what's your favorite color? How many green? Blue, red, fuchsia. Oh, come on, raise your hand. Okay, see where I'm going with this. Same music? Everybody listen to the same music. Ariana Grande, we were rocking out, everybody, before school, right? Okay. We need to understand how to use documents in history, okay? And we've already started by talking about context. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go through each of these four. Now, there are two ways you can think of this, and whichever way you think of it is fine with me. I call it cap. Some call it hip. Now, what does that stand for? Well, anybody want to try what C stands for? Context. Now, over here, it's with an H because context means the same as historical situation. Okay? Want to try A? You want to try A? What A stands for? Well, we're going to do that for all of them. Audience. A is the audience. Over here, we have I, intended audience. Okay, so we want to think of it that way too. So we have context, historical situation, audience, intended audience. How about the P? Purpose and point of view, yes. So let's take a look. Context, historical situation. What's context, historical situation? What do you think that means? What is context? What are we doing? What are we looking at? Jesse, what's context?
It's whatever is going on at the time, period, that makes the event important.
Okay. So if we were to analyze, let's say our document is on the Stamp Act. What's going on at the time period that would involve that document? Okay, at the time of the Stamp Act, what's happening? Go ahead.
Post French and Indian War, and the British are trying to make money to repay their debts.
Okay, so post French and Indian War, making money for the debts, yes. How about pre-Revolutionary War? Does that work? Sure. Okay, so that's our context. What's going on at the time period? Okay, you could also throw in there, what else? What's be something else we could throw in? We're looking at a cork of the Stamp Act. What else could we throw in there? Post French Revolution, or French and Indian, prior to the Revolution, recouping debts. What else could we say? Go ahead.
Beginning of rebellion.
Okay, the beginning of the rebellion, yes. Absolutely. Tensions are growing between the two sides. Yes, all that's good context. What would be the intended audience of the Stamp Act? Now, I realize that would depend. Let's say we're looking at the Stamp Act skull and crossbones Stamp Act picture. Now what's the audience? Go ahead.
The colonists.
Commoners to try to create what?
Rebellion. Like, didn't the British merchants put the skull in the bones to get the colonists fired up on all of their merchandise?
Well, actually, it was the American merchants that did it to get them fired up. Yeah, very good. And now we're getting into point of view and purpose. Okay, now we're getting into what's the purpose of the document. Okay, so context, audience, and think of audience is going to be the intended audience. Okay, the intended audience of the document. Who is the document for? Why? Okay, so that's our A or I. I like cap because I just think it's easier to remember. Whichever works for you. You can go with hip if you want to. Point of view. Now, you have had English courses. You have studied point of view. It's first, second, third. Get that out of your head. That's not what we're talking about. Okay? That's not what we're talking about. Don't write on a document, this is in first person. No. Point of view means what is, and the best way that I find to explain it, what is the main point of that document? What point is it trying to make? Or what point is it making? What is the point of the document? And then we have, what is the purpose of the document? Now, while you're writing this down, I will tell you this. Depending what the document is, in some cases, point of view and purpose kind of do overlap. There is some overlap there. Okay? So what is the purpose in history, significance before or after the document? What's the deal? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Turn to, now this is called sourcing activity, turn to this. This page you got at the beginning of the period. Now you're not turning this in, don't worry about that. All right, let's read this document. And for the most part, they're going to give you the title, who wrote it, when, which helps us really understand context. Okay, so let's read through this. You want to turn the other light on just because we're reading from your desk. Okay, go ahead. Amy, please.
We whose names are underwritten, having undertaken for the glory of God and advancement of the Christian faith and honor of our king and country, a voyage to plant the first colony in the northern parts of Virginia, and combine ourselves together into a civil body politic for our better ordering and preservation, and by virtue hereof to enact, constitute, and frame such just and equal laws, ordinances, acts, constitutions, and offices from time to time, as shall be thought most meet and convenient for the general good of the colony.
Okay, intended audience for this would be what? Go ahead.
The colonists on the Mayflower.
Okay, and I was going to say it, the people that agreed to it on the Mayflower. Yeah. Anybody else have an opinion? Who would be the intended audience? Do you think it's a document intended for the king? Could be. Although I don't know that the people on the Mayflower are already kind of in-your-face thing with the king yet. Okay. Could be. Let's move on. What's the purpose? What's the purpose? Who's got a purpose? Give me a purpose. Maggie.
To outline like their goals and stuff for their
Okay, goals, yes. Could we throw in the word government there, maybe? What do you think? I don't know if they actually set out with the idea, we're going to start our own government, but we could definitely entertain that thought, couldn't we? How about historical context? What's going on at the time of this? What makes it significant? Look at that year, 1620. What's happening? Good.
The first, well, the first colony in the northern part of the Americas.
I like the way you said that, in the northern part, yes, because we know it's after Jamestown, right? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say continued conflict with the church.
Okay, continued conflict with the church. Yes, these are separatists. We could throw that in. Yes. What else is going on? I'm looking for a word. Braveheart yelled it. Go ahead.
I don't know if it's what he yelled, but expedition.
Say again.
Expedition.
Okay. I was looking for. They were just looking for freedom. So, okay, but yeah, I like that answer better. Okay.
I was thinking of the wrong movie.
Oh, really? Okay. It's been a while since Braveheart and Mel Gibson came out.
Yeah.
How about author's point of view? What's the point of view here? Good.
They're on the Mayflower trying to write their goals and stuff down.
Okay. We can go a little further with this for the point of view. What's the point of view? Anybody else want to try? Evelyn.
It's like colonists on the Mayflower and they're looking for like safety and structure by working together.
Okay. I agree. All right. Let's do this. Go to the very back. Go to the very back of this document, this page. Let's try one we are familiar with. Well, not that the other one we're not, but. Okay, just flip it over. Okay, let's take a look at this. Ella B. Thomas Jefferson, please.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and the nature of God himself and the human mankind requires that they should declare the causes which compel them to separation.
Okay? Grab the person beside you there. Come up with it. I scribbled this in there before I photocopied it. Sorry about the sloppy handwriting. That should be intended, audience. And I don't care which order you do them in.
No, this is the Constitution, I think. No, I don't remember that. Yes,
This kid.
Okay, keep going. It's all right. It happens.
Only we can say meant to inform them about everything.
It's also kind of the people that signed it, because
They're part of the policy.
yeah, well, the people, yeah, I guess it. The people who signed it had to feel under them because they signed it.
The conference is very revolutionary.
For the sake of time, try to move on there, okay? I realize it don't give you much, but
Tensions are rising. Point of view is
Okay, take 30 seconds and we got to move on for time wise, okay? Okay, let's do intended audience. Evelyn, what do you got for intended audience?
I said the king, so it's like just people in Britain because they're telling them what they want to do, and it has to they have to know what the king has to know.
Okay, the only thing I added to my answer was I threw in Parliament also.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for an audience? That's good. Go ahead.
The colonists, specifically the people who signed the Declaration of Independence.
Because they are actually going to read it and then sign it. I think I see how you could do that. Okay, how about purpose? Or what do I have next? Context. You want to do context next? Doesn't matter. Historical context. Jesse, what do you have?
I have there. It's like towards the beginning of the revolution, and they gain ideas for separation.
Okay. Go ahead.
I said colonists were fed up with taxes.
Okay. Anybody else? Go ahead.
Fighting tension between Britain and America. The colonists.
We just hit everything I have. I have second year of the revolution, okay, which you guys said at the beginning. Full-fledged combat, emerging, ideas of independence from Britain. I just wrote instead of being British subjects. Okay, but we get the idea. All right, point of view. What's the point of view? Who wants to do that? Go ahead.
They're being treated
Okay. Go ahead.
I said colonists declare their independence because, for purpose, then I put that they are an independent body. It happened after they declared it.
Okay. I just wrote down fairly radical political leaders, colonists, 13 United States who want to break away and self-govern, people who prefer independence to the king's rule. Okay, good. We're right there together. How about purpose then? What do we say for purpose? Anybody else? Give me somebody else in the game. Did we hear from everybody? Georgia, they're pointing at you. You want to do it?
The purpose was to tell the king that they're over and they're done.
They're over and they're done. I wrote necessary to list reasons for separation. One kind of nitpicky thing, but the purpose. This is in the preamble, so I wrote a purpose would be an introduction to the document. Okay, very good, excellent with that. Okay, those other two we'll take a look at tomorrow. For the last couple minutes, here's what we're gonna do. We've been having fun so far. We're gonna have a lot more fun. Here you go. Write this down. LEQ. Now, as soon as you see LEQ, you're going to say, oh no, what does L stand for? Take a guess.
Less innocent.
What? No, but that's good. I like that.
That's what I think.
L means long.
Whoa.
What does E stand for?
Essential.
No.
I say a question.
Say it again.
Long essay question.
Long essay question.
What the heck?
Now, the only thing this means, relax, let's move on. We only have 5 minutes. The only thing that means is this. It doesn't mean you write a 10-page paper. 9.5, yes. But here's the deal. It means that it's not a short answer. That's what it means. Okay? So let's take a look at this. Go ahead and hit the lights. Take a look at the question here. Right off the bat. Here's a sample long essay question. Evaluate the extent to which the Declaration of Independence marked a turning point in American history. Analyze what changed and what stayed the same from the period immediately before the Declaration to the period immediately after it. So right off the bat, I guarantee you, if I give you some more time to think about it, you could definitely come up with some ideas. So why was the Declaration a turning point? Why was the Declaration a turning point? Take notice what the question's asking you to answer. Why is it a turning point is what the question is. Evelyn.
Because colonies signed it and it was the official Declaration of Independence.
Okay, definitely. Go ahead.
The colonists all united.
Okay,
They get
go ahead.
It was like the first unified act of rebellion.
Okay, go ahead. I think also then we can get into some politics there. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. It's going to definitely pave the way for the Constitution where we're heading into this chapter. Okay, here's the prompt for our long essay. Okay, take a look at this. Evaluate the extent to which the 7 Years' War marked a turning point in relations with Great Britain, analyzing what changed and what stayed the same from the period before the war to the period after it. Now, the first thing you might be thinking is, why are we doing a long essay question now when we had the chapter 3 weeks ago? The reason is we have to know what happened afterwards because we have to know what changed. That's why we did the next chapter. Now we have to reflect back. Why was that a turning point? Think of like a game. You look back at the second quarter, but you don't know how big the second quarter was till the game's over. Okay? Go ahead.
the ended sites with being neglected.
Okay, ended salutary neglect. I would probably say you should definitely include that in your essay at some point. What else could we think of? Brainstorm. Go ahead.
The relations between America and Great Britain got very cold because like the colonists were unhappy with the way they were being treated.
Okay, let's pause here. Very good, by the way. Take a look at this paper. Go ahead and hit the lights, please. The last one I gave you today. What we need to do in a paper is we need to have the thesis and the context, okay, and we'll get to these other columns here as we go through. If you go to the next page, you can see the rubric, how you get the key points. Now, I'll go through each and every one of these with you, and tomorrow what we will do is I'll show you some examples of this very question being answered, and we'll go through it, okay? So we'll actually model it, all right? And if you see here, continuity and change, this last page, what stayed the same, what changed? There's a Venn diagram, which really is optional if you want to fill that in. Now, here's the deal for tomorrow, okay? I put on Canvas. All you got to do is watch a couple videos where the historian, okay, fellow AP teacher like me, he's going to be quoting AP. Now, first of all, I'm not expecting you to write like an AP student. Okay, this is the first time you've heard of this, and we've only been talking about it 5 minutes. So no apprehension. Relax, Aiden, okay? I just need to break things up, okay? No tears, no crying, okay? But watch those videos for tomorrow. Then tomorrow, when we get into this, you'll be able to jump right into it, and we'll take a look at this in more depth. But make sure you watch those videos tonight. Okay, take a look at them, and that will set us up for tomorrow. Okay, any questions on anything? I did put an assignment out there for Wednesday. We'll talk about that more so tomorrow. Go ahead. Those, yeah, I'm glad you asked about that. The period 3, we're actually still in period 3. So the blue notebooks, keep them. Okay, we're still in period 3. Okay? Okay, tomorrow. See you then. You're welcome. Have a good day.